So, I'm an American. I'm an American and I like to do new things. Once I did a role in a private plane with a gentleman who had created Wheaties, or actually he had created a malt that went into cereals, but we did a role and that was really cool. And then once I hit a fox in the highway in the middle of the night, and I sped away. I had been driving cross country, and a highway patrolman pulled me over, and he noticed that my shoes were really high. So he only gave me a citation because that must have been why I was speeding, because my heels were really high. So I guess that's not really something new, but hitting a fox is something new. I've tried Indian food and I've tried Mexican food. One time when I was younger, I got a mouse, and I named it Peabody. It was a white mouse, and I got it for the 8th grade science fair project, and I taught it to run through a maze, or I taught it to almost run through the maze. It made it about halfway. Unfortunately, on the morning of the great science fair, my mom found Peabody, or half of Peabody, on the white carpet in her bathroom, laying in a pool of blood, and apparently Toby the dog had taken it upon herself to eat Peabody, or half. But that was okay because the man at the science fair gave me an award for trying, so yay. And then I got to play a cartoon character that was shaped like a broom, and that was great fun.
I'm the only girl.
One time I swam across a river that was really rough, and I did make it to the other side. I came in last, but I made it to the other side. Then I went to film school on credit cards, or just a year of film school, because I'd always wanted to do that, and I made a short film that was good about a mime in the woods having a picnic. And then one time I walked around town with fake eyelashes on for a week and nobody noticed. That was a success. And then when I was 11, I had gotten to know a couple of horses one summer. One was named Whistling Dixie, and the other was named Miss Muffet on her tuffet. I didn't really get to ride, so it was not a big surprise when at the age of 35, I decided to take up horseback riding. I was living in Atlanta, so I drove out to a barn just outside of Atlanta in a town called Ellenwood, Georgia. And I met a nice lady named Lynn, and she started to give me lessons. The average age of the kids that were taking the lessons was 9, so I figured I'd have a head up, or a leg up on all of them. But really I didn't, because they were quite good and competitive.
Simon says stop tapping your head. Put your hands down.
So I continued to hang around the barn, and I got to know the kids, and they started to like me, I think. Lynn's daughter, Lynn, the lady who was teaching me the lessons, her name was Leah. And she had a dressage horse named D'Artagnan. And he was a rescue horse and doing really well at all the local shows and competing or holding his own against the fancier and more expensive horses, most of which were called warm bloods, which is just a type. There's all sorts of names for these horses, but in one group, they're all really big and they're built for dressage and they're called warm bloods. But he was not one because he was a rescue horse. And dressage, I can explain dressage later, but he was really cool, and all the kids would kind of whisper about him, and he had this air of neatness. And so the reason this movie is here is because, well, one day I was out riding at the barn, and I thought, wow, I've kind of mastered horseback riding, so this isn't really new anymore. How about a feature film? And Lynn and her family knew that I was really good at making movies. I had a good background in film, so they said that they would help me.
I can't be a part of this. It makes me crazy.
I hate being on film.
So the idea blossomed, and I thought, what was exciting in my life? The barn and the riding. I guess the most interesting thing at the barn, not to me, of course, but to everyone else, to the viewer, would be this cool horse named D'Artagnan, who had kind of come up from the lower echelon in life and was now doing well against all these fancy horses. So we thought that what we'd do was sort of explore D'Artagnan's past and find out, find out kind of all the people that had helped to raise him and why he was doing so well today and what made him tick. So here's the story of D'Artagnan the horse.
Hey, how are ya? Can you hear me? What? Very cool. How was your trip?
To start this out, here's Lynn, and Lynn, again, was my horseback riding teacher, and she saved D'Artagnan from his supposedly scary situation. The important part here, I think, to know about Lynn is that she's kind of a do-it-yourself sort of a lady. She had grown up, in the rough suburbs of Chicago and as a Jewish young girl, and had studied at Antioch College in social work, and then came to Atlanta to help Coretta Scott King, and then she started a successful painting business, and she taught herself how to drive a horse in a buggy, and she put a horse in her backyard, and she didn't know really anything about horses, and then she started this writing business, so that was a really neat thing about her. And of course that is, obviously this rubbed off on D'Artagnan.
I'm in an odd position. I consider myself a beginner riding instructor with the focus on the beginnings of dressage. I make sure parents understand that it's not daycare. Which side do you get on a horse? No, you can do it. Pick it up. There's no really room for overly nurturing. You can do it. You can do this. There, see? You can do it. Your dad's a chiropractor. You'll be fine. We are a very serious dressage barn. We are really different, though, in that we're a beginner stable. Good God, you guys! That's too close!
So Elizabeth's riding first?
You're second, baby, yeah. People went first yesterday, go second today. Don't just let go of the horse ever! Dylan, are you, I'm Matthew, whoever don't tell me you got stepped on. Big kick. Kick, Isabel. Good. This horse does show and all, but he's just, I think, Connor, bring me a little whip.
No, wait,
He's going to best. Stop, Emily and Cassie. Thank you. This is nightmarish proportions, but that's okay. Could be far worse, of course.
Can you tell us what dressage is? I don't really know. Why not? Yes, you do a little bit, don't you? It's riding horses.
There's no riding that means anything but dressage. I mean, it is the oldest form of riding. It's the most classical. It's the base. It's the French word for training, and it is the pinnacle of everything. And it didn't matter what I'd see horses doing and how beautiful they looked when I'd see dressage. I knew to do that, it had to just be magical.
Again, Leah and D'Artagnan were competing and training in the ancient Greek art of dressage. And if you still are not getting the whole dressage thing, if you take a quick look, here are the Federal Equestrian Association's guidelines and rules and information explaining dressage. So that may be of some help. So another person that was very important to D'Artagnan's life was Leah. And this was Lynn's daughter, Leah. And Leah was D'Artagnan's right-hand man and is also his trainer. Leah is the one that rides D'Artagnan in all of his shows.
10 years? I don't know, maybe that's a little young for the Olympics, but hopefully, like international dressage competitions, having my own barn here somewhere in Georgia. And this is all, a big dream, so I know that there are going to be lots of twists and turns down the road, but you can strive for your goals.
Let's cut over now to Dave. He's another person at Ellenwood. He was Lynn's partner of many, many years, and he basically does a lot of work at the barn. And he is Leah's brother, Lynn's son, Alex's father figure, I guess. And He's important in D'Artagnan's life because, A, he's around the barn a lot and hangs out with D'Artagnan a lot, but mostly because he's the one who actually drove the actual trailer to the spot where D'Artagnan was picked up. Let me do it again. Okay.
Since she was 8 years old, she has, focused on riding. But, she's given up, everything. Her friends are the kids here. She doesn't go out. Her entire life is her horses. Where the passion comes from, I don't know, but she certainly, it's all she thinks about. It's all she wants.
I really don't know why I got addicted to riding. I guess some would say it's like in my blood because my mom loves it, obviously. Apparently my biological father was really, really good with horses and worked with buggy horses in downtown Atlanta. This is my passion, and if I did badly all the time, that would, not only would it suck, but it would just tell me that's not where my heart and soul is. To doubt what you should be doing, that would be horrible.
A true dressage horse, you'll never see a horse like D'Artagnan in the very high-end stuff. It's all warm bloods, big 17-hand, floaty movers.
He's got his big head and his quite long legs for his little body, and he has a short back, which can be good, and then it's not so good. So, I mean, he doesn't have like that humongous quarter horse butt, and the withers aren't too much lower than his croup. So, I mean, like, we got kind of lucky with them.
I mean, the kid took a unbroke, crazed rescue horse to schooling, upper level stuff. When you watch the two of them ride, under saddle, him and Leah, there's nothing he won't do for her. I mean, it's almost otherworldly. It makes no sense.
You won't see him ever, a horse his size, his body style in the Olympics. You just won't. You have judges who look and judge. I can watch Leah ride dressage, a third-level test, and she looks as good as the girl riding the third-level test on a bigger horse. But ultimately, she won't score as high. Is it because of D'Artagnan? I have no idea. To me, it should be all the same. If he performs and he does the correct movement and he's built, he's put together properly by the rider, then he should score just as high. But it's really hard to make that judgment.
He is so strange.
Okay, Shwoo, last family member. We got a little bit off track, but here's Alex. He's Leah's brother, and he's involved in D'Artagnan's life in that he really wasn't that involved, but he was around a lot, so we kind of had to take his picture. But he saw the whole great story unfold, so was able to tell it like it was, or tell it like it is. And just as a quick side note, Alex might age a little bit quickly during this movie, but that's due to things that were beyond the filmmaker's control. If there was like a hierarchy here at the farm.
A what?
A hierarchy, like if there's a commander and a lieutenant and the kitchen cleaner. Who would be who, like as far as like family and animals, and like who rules? And
My dad would probably be kitchen person. Leah would probably be the second caretaker of the farm, and my mom would be the sergeant or commander.
What about you?
I would be, what would I be? I would just be like some kid who comes home and just works and then comes down and helps my dad with the kitchen. The helper boy. I guess. The helper.
He has stuff. I mean, the treehouse I built for him, you know, we take him to art class, a high-end place that's really superb. He likes video games. He plays video games with me. We download all the best games and TV. He's a homebody. He likes TV.
D'Artagnan?
Mm-hmm.
Which one, the movie or the...
D'Artagnan, the horse.
Well, let me think about this.
Okay, think about it.
So my sister trained him for like about for about 3 years, and now he's like really good. And I'm not sure if she has fell off on him a couple times.
Who owned him before?
The owner was like some black cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, we've pretty much talked to everyone around the barn. The pig, we haven't talked to the pig yet, but we'll get back to her. Now, Alex has brought up a really good point here, the cowboys.
And everybody say, cowboy up, cowboy up.
So it was obvious that we really needed to go out and find the cowboys, because this was how Lynn found D'Artagnan, and D'Artagnan was able to find Leah and thus achieve his success was through the cowboys, who Lynn met through the buggy drivers, and this might be a little bit confusing, so here is Lynn explaining how she met the cowboys through the buggy drivers. Again, the cowboys through the buggy drivers.
I'm gonna clap.
So our big problem with this story, just say watermelon, like look up my left shoulder and just say watermelon, watermelon.
Watermelon, watermelon.
Look at my left shoulder,
Watermelon,
not
watermelon. We're left, I'm sorry.
Is connecting the D'Artagnan story, connecting, we're having a hard time connecting the two stories. So
Right.
I need you to say, well, I was a buggy driver in downtown Atlanta. I got to be friends with a lot of guys, and a lot of them were also cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could start from there.
Okay.
And then you went to get this night job.
Right.
And then you got to be friends with the cowboys, and
Right.
then
Right.
the buggy drivers, and then some of the buggy drivers were cowboys, and then they're the ones that led you to D'Artagnan.
Obviously, Lynn was not a very good explainer, so I have gotten this chalkboard ready, which I may or may not use occasionally, and I can do an illustration of exactly what is going on here. So as I said, Lynn had been a buggy driver in downtown Atlanta. As a buggy driver, you know, she would drive tourists around town and show them the sights and sounds of the Atlanta area. Questions were brought up about whether or not Lynn really knew how to drive a buggy, but I thought it was, you know, she was new to the whole horse thing, but I thought it was really neat that she just kind of jumped behind the wheel and drove the buggy, and no accidents ever occurred. So since Lynn was such a safe driver, we decided, well, let's let her drive us around town and go out and interview some of these people that were so influential in D'Artagnan's life. Riding in the car was me and Leah and Lynn, of course. Here's Lynn driving. Now, Leah, just so you know, had taken a big break to come and do this because the film was so important to her. She and D'Artagnan had been training very, very, very hard for an upcoming show in Conyers, Georgia at the Conyers Horse Park. We were all really looking forward to seeing this, and she did have time to go with us, but Dave, of course, said no, he did not have time to go with us. He needed to stay back at the farm and work on his very special project. But anyway, so we started downtown with the buggy drivers and had a few interesting conversations there.
I was putting a shoe on the horse, and the horse poo-poo on my head.
Well,
Well, this is Molly. This is our main Indian wedding horse. And I mean, she's seen it all. She's used to firecrackers, sparklers, you know, the drumming.
The important part here is how Lynn met D'Artagnan.
How she met D'Artagnan was one or more of those drivers claimed to have bred and sold D'Artagnan, which was not his original name, by the way. One or more of those buggy drivers said that they had bred D'Artagnan, but really only one had. As I said earlier, a lot of the buggy drivers also called themselves cowboys. Not all of them were cowboys, but some of them were cowboys. Sometimes they called themselves the black cowboys, even though not all of them were black, so we'll just keep this neutral. And of course, the cowboys were so interesting that they get to have this little fancy visual blurb here. Now, one of these cowboys, who was not a buggy driver, but was a cowboy, was of course friends with the buggy drivers because some of the buggy drivers were cowboys. This friend is the one who eventually bumped into Pam and Lynn on the street, or depending on who you talked to, gave them a phone call, that's a phone, an old phone, and told them about D'Artagnan. Now, who is Pam, you're wondering? Well, Pam is the one actually who kind of originally found D'Artagnan, or rescued D'Artagnan, if that's what you want to call it, but unfortunately we kind of have had to skip her story due to ease of movie making. Okay, so back to the story of us driving around getting interviews to find out why D'Artagnan was the great, successful horse that he is today.
Well, Titanium originally was named Daddy-O. And Titanium, a guy that I did a lot of work with that trained dogs. He had trainers that were Mexican. I sold the horse to that particular guy, and they trained that horse from a baby up. He treated him like a dog in the yard. And he grew up acting like a human dog.
He had him bound, you know, and doing the little steps and whatnot.
Well, he didn't sit on the couch, but he laid on the floor.
Oh, he lugged him upstairs on his shoulder and around the house. And
he used to have him doing a lot of nice tricks, you know, bow and stuff of that nature.
Daddy-O would kneel. Daddy-O would lay down for you and let you get on his back and then stand up. He had a lot of little tricks he could do at that time. You know, he would sit.
Do you know he know how to lay down?
Or he could lie down and roll over, like a dog.
We thought that was a very amazing horse.
The horse has got to be smart.
Here we are continuing our quest.
It's all very convoluted in that Leah's dad and I had split up, and he was a buggy driver, and that's, you know, sort of tied in the buggy driving sense. So we're looking for the house D'Artagnan was born at, according to my buggy driver friends and owners, and hang on, let me. Hello? I know it's this one, but clearly it's been remodeled, and it's a different house. It's beautiful now. And if I'm wrong, it's the orange house next door. You won't be mad, right?
So they're not home, or I think they're home but aren't paying attention.
So now I know everyone is probably wondering where Dave was and what was he doing while we were all driving around town. What was his special project that he was working on back at Ellenwood?
I see the young girl dressed to the nines.
Lynn had given Dave rights to the closet, and he used it to set up a YouTube studio to broadcast his thoughts to the world.
All of the time, but no one will tell her the truth of it all. Protest, the protest, it's all up to you.
you go. Let's see what else is going on.
Hey, what's going on? Whoa.
Dave's project showed D'Artagnan the importance of being outspoken.
Yo, what's going on? So, you see that Obama video?
Just looking at that stuff on drugs. Oh, crap. Let's see the volume. Where that, the young horse was killed. They had euthanizer on the track. They brutalized these animals. Brutalized them.
It's just ridiculous. But what are you gonna do? I mean, you know, we don't have any choice. And I'm no conservative. I'm not. It's like these same people that are breeding cats and dogs for money. Despicable thing to do. You know, get off your ass and go get a job, you know? How freaking hard is it to get a job? You know, I think I'll play the stock market and breed cats.
And while we're touching on Ellenwood, let's discuss how most of the money was made to send D'Artagnan to all of his shows. Ellenwood Summer Camp.
Okay, come back in front of the camera and do it some more.
Here's Alex with his sword at Ellenwood Summer Camp. This is a super fun camp that Lynn and Dave and the family run. Camp had a great influence on D'Artagnan. He watched the kids do their chores and realized that hard work can set you free and sometimes can even lead to rewards.
All right, guys, some of you have already been here, which is always very cool because you know the routine and you basically know what to do. Quiet, you, the mouth. Those of you who haven't, you will be fit right into the routine and you will know it by the end of today. And it's the porta potty dude who cleans the porta potty. Thank God.
Everybody, okay, people with the sponges, you are going to clean one bucket and you are going to hand the sponge to the next person in line. We don't have to clean on the outside, okay?
Yeah, guys, chairs where they belong. Not bad empty, huh, guys?
I can't believe it's 102 degrees today. It's unbelievable. I'm actually extremely heat sensitive. I'm running.
Now go pick up the grooming kits, guys.
Yeah, we'll be getting in the pool, and I won't be dying anymore.
Remember the last one.
What about you, pink helmet?
And favorite thing about a horse?
Do you like horses?
Mm-hmm.
What do you like?
They're friendly, and they like me.
I've got a big job this week with all these kids in this heat. It is unbelievable. It really, really sucks.
Get adopted by somebody else.
Camp ended and everyone was really, really excited about the movie, so I agreed to take my camera and go and film D'Artagnan and Leah's horse show.
Tell me what happens if Leo does well at this show.
Oh, we're all very happy, basically.
Does she get to go anywhere else?
Well, you mean after the show, does she get to go anywhere else?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she goes home.
Little does Alex know that this is D'Artagnan's and Leah's big chance to qualify for the regional finals in Ocala, Florida. If they do well, they get to go there and compete against the best and the brightest in the Southeast United States.
I'm like freaked out. My stomach goes a little bit bonkers. When I go in to read, I'm literally like almost shaky. I'm a good reader, but I'm so nervous. Let's see. And then you gotta look at this, you gotta look at that.
Well, so is she still good for Florida, or is it?
Well, we'll see. She got 1 qualifying score early, which was really exciting. And she had 8s on the hardest movements of all. Canter serpentine with changes of lead through the walk. He looks amazing. You okay?
Up next, rider 816, via marks on D'Artagnan.
Proceed, collected track, C, track right, MXK, medium track. K, collected track, E, turn right, E to H, traverse right. C, halt, rein back 3 to 4 steps, proceed, medium walk. Yay, Leah. Thank you. I kind of screwed up calling. I forgot a movement. Thank God she knew it. So you feel really good about that, huh? Like, you feel really good about that. It's sort of like you make it look like it's training level to you. Oh my God.
I'm bored.
Baby, you'll just have to live with it. It'll be all right.
When's my special day gonna come? What is my special day?
Your special
Every
day
day
is
is your special day.
How?
That's how much we love you.
Leah has a special day?
For the show.
Yeah, I want.
We're going to see a movie.
What about?
This week, like we've talked about. Stop.
But she gets to see a lot more. She gets to do a lot more shows than I get to see a movie.
I know.
So what are you doing, Melissa?
I was gonna wait for the reaction to their score.
I mean, what are you doing right now?
I'm taking a picture.
Why?
I don't know, I thought we might be able to use it for something.
We got a 61.190.
That's what that means.
So that means that D'Artagnan and I have qualified for regional championships. So, going to Florida.
So it is Florida for us. So now I have to save my camp money for the big track. I imagine it's going to cost in the neighborhood of, gosh, let's see, certainly 1,000 to 1,500. Yeah, you just can't even think about it, or you just kind of rationalize it away.
Call for hotel reservations tonight.
It's in October, Dave. It's in October.
I didn't really understand why, but on the way home from the show, questions began to arise about the integrity of the film, but I vigorously defended the project. I think Lynn believed me. And in the end, of course, everyone happily agreed to come with me the next day to drive around the beautiful Atlanta countryside to find some more cowboys and people that may have known D'Artagnan.
His father was called Shorty Pimp.
Shorty Pimp. So Tim and Matilda went to Amish country to get Shorty Pimp in the buggy. And they go up to Indiana. Folks from the hood to Amish country. Doesn't get much whiter than that. But that's where they go.
So, Amish country, how did this Amish heritage affect D'Artagnan's character? We were all thinking about it and thought, we realized that A, he worked really hard, and B, he was fairly honest, and C, he usually tried to avoid technology.
And Matilda actually wanted him to match the carriage because the carriage was black and white and the horse was black and white. So we thought that was real cute. And everybody downtown loved Shorty Pimp. They looked for Shorty Pimp. Shorty Pimp took all of our rides. Tim and I said, we got to get rid of this horse some kind of way.
What happened to Shorty Pimp?
He got lockjaw.
You know, I wasn't around when D'Artagnan was born, or Daddy-O, or anything like that.
Actually, he was born off of,
He was actually born downtown. He was born downtown the stable.
He was born in my backyard. It was in Decatur, Georgia.
right there at the border of, Atlanta and DeKalb County right there, off Flash Oak Road at Tim Phillips' sister's house.
Okay, so basically what's going on here is that Shorty Pimp was D'Artagnan's dad. Now, Tim and his wife Matilda went to Amish country to find a new horse. Cowboy Will claims that he was in Amish country there too with them, so I don't really understand that, but we can believe him if we want to. Eventually, Shorty Pimp was so great that he was bred to a horse named either Velcro or
Valentine.
Velcro. That was Matty Bird.
Or it could have been Hattie Mae or Mattie Hay, depending on who you talk to. I think Hattie Mae or Mattie Hay had some sort of relationship to either football or the TV show Moonlighting, but I'm not sure. Anyway, before his son could be born, or maybe after, Shorty Pimp died of tetanus. No one seems to know or care what happened to the mom, of course. Here comes D'Artagnan. It sounds like D'Artagnan was born at Tim Phillips' sister's house. That's the orange house that we showed earlier. Though some people, such as Will, say that he was actually born in the stables. And I think this might have been the stables that are downtown in Atlanta where the buggy drivers house all their horses. So I'm going for Tim Phillips' sister's house, but no one knows for sure.
All right, we're leaving Decatur to go to Ron's new ranch. This is very exciting. And Ron is certainly one of the most important people in the story of D'Artagnan.
So here's Cowboy Ron. We talked about him earlier. He was the cowboy who was not a buggy driver. And for those of you who may be a tad slow, Ron is the one who called Lynn and Pam, or depending on who you talked to, bumped into them on the street and told them where D'Artagnan was and maybe they should go to save him, even though Ron was not the owner of D'Artagnan, but I guess he was able to do this anyway. And I think here's Ron, knew Lynn, here's Lynn, because Lynn had been a buggy driver, and therefore Ron, who had not been a buggy driver, was a cowboy, so some of the buggy drivers were also cowboys. So that is how Lynn somehow knew Ron, though Ron claimed to know Lynn through Lynn's partner, Dave, because they saw each other at a feed store one day and they both loved classical music. It's a musical note. And they started to talk about it with each other.
Standing there listening to classical music. So when you talk about Rimsky-Korsakov, Beethoven, and Toscanini, it couldn't be all bad.
And then really quick, for truth and documentary reasons, some of the cowboys said that Ron didn't even know D'Artagnan. He was being bad and was just making stuff up for us for the movie because he wanted to be in the movie, which was actually really nice of him. So I guess this is why he didn't want to talk about D'Artagnan too much and really just wanted to give us a great big tour of his property.
Weirdos about horses. Look at his truck. Oh, guys. Very cool.
He's gonna jump up on you, I'm telling you.
Hey,
There's nothing you can do to stop that.
I think we lost Craig. So, where's your phone? Yeah, your phone.
I have several properties that I own. And we got horse trails, walking trails, jogging trails.
It's really pretty.
Anything you want to have. And you want another horse?
Which one?
That one right there. He's a hunter jumper.
Which one? The thoroughbred?
Yeah, but the thoroughbred, you can have it. Come on.
It's so cool. Hey, let me look at that.
Here's a nice little hangout room. I was just telling him, if you guys want to stay here, you can stay here for as long as you want. Nobody lives here. He's got a nice little kitchen here and a deck, and to my friend, he helps me. And this is where I spend all my money, on my saddles. So these are some of my show saddles.
The black and silver would be perfect for D'Artagnan.
You can take it with you.
Oh, no.
And I got a beautiful black and white blanket to go with it. Oh, yeah. I'll give you a gift from me to you.
Thank you.
I'll show you what's in this room. This is the room where my world begins. I have to store these samples and keep them in stock. These are all of our pharmaceutical companies, and this product is for the blues. So for those who's got the blues, we make over 200 complexes and over 190 single remedies. So the federal government allows that we have to keep these samples in stock. Cold and sinus, detox, for women's health, children's health, eye, ears, nose, and throat. So along with being a cowboy, I'm also a vice president of a homeopathic pharmaceutical company. How's that? Yeah.
My name is Marge Roberts, and I'm the president and CEO of Newton Homeopathics. And Ron Parker is the vice president of Newton Homeopathics.
So real quick, a little bit of a tangent. Who is this? This was Marge Roberts. She was the president of the Natural Pharmaceutical Company, of which Ron was the vice president, and they had met when they were lobbying Congress for something. And how did she touch D'Artagnan's life? Well, she influenced Ron a lot, who also had a big deal in D'Artagnan's life. Still on the tour with Ron, which was getting longer and longer.
As a matter of fact, now you see me, now you don't. D'Artagnan was my son. He was the closest to my son as my biological son. But what could have happened better than him to be landed into that young lady's hand? So you follow me. Want to take the chicken's basket in the sun? That's what chickens do when they're not doing anything else. They find themselves a nice place, and they go into the sun, and they sit and relax. Say hello to my chickens. These are my best friends. And the donkey protects them from everything. And that's my favorite pet right there is my donkey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes, he is. He's the closest to what we think the Mother Mary in the story of Jesus Christ is. It's all alive, then that donkey's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our animals are the same way. You should see what we have now. We have a big, beautiful 300-pound pig.
Oh.
She's the coolest thing ever. Her name's Princess.
Oh,
she has
wow.
a run of the place. King pig.
Wow.
And we have a goat, a billy goat named Billy. And they all, you should see them all laying together.
And real quick, here's Princess the pig. We had mentioned her earlier and had failed to interview her at Ellenwood back at the barn because she had been unavailable, but she's D'Artagnan's best friend and they really enjoy mucking around in the mud together. And I bring this special pig and the special place that she holds in D'Artagnan's heart to your attention because I thought it was really neat that D'Artagnan embraced this pig when, as you see, so many people really don't like pigs.
Okay, do not go in there. You know that. Thank you. Oh, good girl. See, she's really smart. We got her when she was... No, you know better. Get. Go. Go. No, you can't. Get. Get. Go. That's she's doing that because she's bad. Go. Go lay down square. Come on. Go. Come on. Go. Go.
The pig scares me running around. You know, crying out loud, that stupid animal attacked me the other day, or I thought it was. They said it was just because she wanted some attention. I felt like I was being attacked.
Come on. Go. Go on, move your head. Oh, move your head. Good girl. Oh, she's really smart. The princess is amazing. She's very calm and zen-like. And she's only annoying when it comes to food. And she doesn't hurt anyone. She doesn't bite. It's like she barely has any teeth that we can decipher. She's learning. We're teaching her no to a fairly impressive degree. I mean, it's not fail-safe, but my vet, won't work on her. He refuses. He says, just because I'm horse-fed, he doesn't know how to do pigs. He's not trained to do pigs. Apparently, they're very different. Well, you know, their organs are so human-like.
Did you eat pork growing up as a...
I mean, we were very Jewish, so we didn't eat a lot of pork. And now, I couldn't even conceive of it. With the beautiful one, you are being annoying. Now, the goat, I could eat the goat.
Continuing our interview process, Lynn and Leah and I go out one day to find D'Artagnan's first owner, Russell.
I forgot my question. What?
We're attempting to find Russell's house. He is a dog trainer and part of the whole cowboy crew. So Russell would have bought D'Artagnan from Tim years ago, and it'd be interesting to find out when, how that all came to be. I gotta grab this real quick. Hey.
We couldn't find Russell's house. Lynn couldn't remember where it was, or I don't really remember what happened. So the next day, we were able to track down Cowboy Weaver, who was Cowboy Russell's nephew.
Tell me your uncle's name again.
His name is, I don't know if he might not want me to use this, but I'm gonna tell you his name. You know, we call him Russell.
Where is Russell?
He's around. I see him. You know, that's my people. I see him. Believe me, I see him.
I need to find him because
I can find him for you. That's no problem.
Okay.
That's no problem. I'm quite sure he won't hear from you all. You know, I can find him for you. You know.
The missing link in this whole production. We've now found the original breeder, trainer, owner of the horse, now known as D'Artagnan, formerly known as Daddy-O. He's here in the life.
Yeah.
Welcome, Russell.
Yeah.
Hey.
So, all right, so Russell is very important in the story because he is the first real owner of D'Artagnan. We don't know if he was a buggy driver. I don't know if he was a cowboy or not. I know that his nephew, Cowboy Weaver, was. And incidentally, just as a side note, Cowboy Weaver had a quarter horse. His first quarter horse was named, I thought this was interesting, Grandmaster Flash. There's Grandmaster Flash in his hat. Anyway, according to the story, Russell saw D'Artagnan. Who he named Daddy-O, and he fell in love with him because he looked a lot like Cochise from Bonanza. And then incidentally, as I was researching it, sadly, Cochise got murdered. That's a knife. I guess he was really popular and somebody decided that they needed to kill him, which is really sad. But this did not happen to D'Artagnan. Russell fell in love with Daddy-O, went to Tim, Russell, Tim, and traded some cash and a dog for Daddy-O.
So you have a business?
Yes, I raise trained dogs. Been doing 32 years. Prestige Protectors. There we go. And there we go, Russell.
And so you train like dogs to protect people at home, or what do you do?
Prestige Protect. I train my dogs to love.
Did you vote for Obama?
Beg pardon?
Did you vote for Obama? Did you vote?
Oh, definitely. Who won?
That, I guess Russell was a big pot smoker and it would, you know, with frequency, would open his kitchen window and D'Artagnan would come up to the window and they'd smoke together. Maybe that's why D'Artagnan's so mellow now. He's like, yeah, I'm cool.
I know everyone's wondering what imprint Russell had on D'Artagnan. It seemed to us that Russell probably gave D'Artagnan his steady temperament and his easygoing personality.
Let's go over Daddy-O's spirit. Like what?
You want the uncut version?
Yes.
He slang his dick and hit himself in the chest, and people walked down, ride down the street, had a wreck, looking at Daddy-O being a freak. Feel.
All right, so in case you have not, let's switch colors here. Green is a good color. So in case you have not been paying attention, again, let's not switch colors. So in case you have not been paying attention, let's do switch colors. In case you have not been paying attention, Lynn and Leah and I have found Russell and just interviewed him, and he's pretty much the first main owner of D'Artagnan. And, you know, he really raised D'Artagnan for the first half of his life, so how he influenced this horse is, and made him to be the great horse today is manyfold. He had to, here's Russell, give up D'Artagnan for a little bit
because he had a lot of problems in his life and he was down and out.
Did you cry because you were like going through a breakup with your girlfriend or your wife?
Why? Oh, man, no. 30 years, man. No. Shoot now, be for real. It was my Adam, man. Shoot, no. Nothing like that. No. Oh, I was 40 years. I'm 53 there now. Well, Victoria, the kids graduated, I mean, all, tell you what, no, nothing but no love bone or.
So he gave D'Artagnan to his friend, Charlie Mizrahi. That's Charlie, that's Russell, who was also a fellow dog trainer. They both are involved with dogs. And so, yeah, Charlie decided that he would help Russell with D'Artagnan by putting D'Artagnan in his yard. Now, so basically, Lynn and Leah and I decided that we really needed to find we needed to find Charlie Mizrahi, because Charlie Mizrahi probably had a huge influence on who D'Artagnan is and on his life, because he took care of him at his house, which is where Lynn and Pam found D'Artagnan, and the big rescue occurred. Now, so basically we tried to call, but we didn't have his number, couldn't get in touch with him on the phone. It's the phone, well, here's the phone. We tried to call Charlie, couldn't get in touch with him, so we drove to his house, but then we couldn't go up and knock on the door because of something very scary in his yard right here. So we had to conduct the entire interview from the sidewalk, which is why Charlie is not pictured. But basically, his yard is where the great rescue of D'Artagnan took place.
Okay, wait. Think, Lynn. So, keep going. I just have to sort of scream.
I remember it.
You could turn around or turn down the street. Maybe we'll see, like, through to the yards. Kind of, sort of. That's push it. But you know what I mean? Turn left here, Melissa.
Okay, so not right.
Uh-huh. No, there's no right here. We'll probably, like, pass it and turn around kind of thing. Which seems to... Oh, well, okay. I'm sorry, Melissa. I had to go too fast. Can you back up? Back up, okay. Sorry. We were told the general vicinity by Ron the day we saw him, Pam and I, a friend who lived right near where Ron used to live in Decatur.
I can't call him D'Artagnan, I'm sorry. That name is just way too fancy for the horse that I saw in that backyard.
Yep, it's this house on the left, because he's got dog agility stuff, because he is a dog trainer.
As a matter of fact, I bought one of Charlie's shepherds, which I still own right now. Her name is Miss America.
No, it says beware of dogs. Yeah, oh yeah. It was all coincidental. Ron happened to see us, me and Pam walking.
I believe that God shined his ever-loving life on me and placed him in the hands of these wonderful people.
The truth of it, the wife and I didn't see the eye to eye longly no more, and I had to move out the property. So, at that time, I had a friend, which is an animal lover and dog trainer, Charlie Mizrahi.
The first day we saw him, he was tied up.
To what?
To a tree.
He was over right in that area, right on the other side of the little garage. Just a small, thin tree, and he had kind of a long line. Not real long.
Not able to reach his water and food.
So we kind of pulled in the driveway a little bit. I was like, I don't know about this. I know he has like trained attack dogs, but Pam's really bold in a certain way. She's like, I don't care. So she gets out of the truck and goes marching up the driveway and goes over, and I follow her. I get out and we walk up, and here's this horse. And I mean, he was rescue quality skinny.
It was just, he wasn't emaciated, but he was pretty darn thin. He was getting there fast.
His head was like tied real high. He looked real uncomfortable. I mean, he wasn't like dying, but, well, he certainly would have. But
the owner had said he would come by and feed him, and he said, well, the owner stopped doing that, and I just don't have time to mess with this horse. So he would throw him hay, you know, when he had the time or energy or money to buy it, is what he told us.
He was starving, and he was really strong, and he would charge at you his ears flat back and his teeth bared and everything. It was pretty scary.
I don't think nobody could love their horse as much as he did, you know? I really don't.
Yeah, I cried in disbelief. And if another week, Daddy-O would have gone somewhere else, to where he would still have been my horse today.
And, you know, it was just a circumstance, I guess, you know, where, you know, everybody, you know, have, you know, times and you know, and trials and tribulations of life, you know.
And no, it's just the mere fact of disbelief that a person that's supposed to be my friend is an animal to me. But long story short, next question.
Here's what I do. I can get all of them together right here, do a barbecue cookout. You can get them all one-on-one, talk to them. I'll have a cowboy cookout, and you'll be great.
Ron said he was going to call about 100 of D'Artagnan's cowboy friends, all of whom had touched D'Artagnan's life.
Kevin, this is Ron. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And he was going to have a big party. Unfortunately, at the last minute, I realized that this was going to cost me about $1,500 in cash.
Okay.
But that was okay. Unfortunately, since Ron had also scheduled it at the last minute, only a handful of cowboys showed up. Anyway, here's what happened.
I'm Melissa. How you doing? Cowpunch.
Cowpunch? Have you ever bumped into D'Artagnan? It's the horse that was rescued by Ron.
Excuse me?
D'Artagnan, that's what the movie's about. This horse that was rescued, and he's going to come here tonight.
I'm sorry, sweetheart.
Never met him.
No, I'm sorry.
Hey, Cowboy Larry.
Do you have any connection to, because the reason we're here is we're following kind of the life of D'Artagnan the horse.
He passed away. Here's what I call the horse whisperer. His name is Wild Bill.
How you doing? My name is Wild Bill.
Do you have any connection to D'Artagnan the horse?
In a way, but not really.
It was almost as if nobody really wanted to talk about D'Artagnan. They really just all wanted to talk about themselves, which was kind of annoying, but... So, tell me a little bit about the whole cowboy thing.
Well, now, we've been doing this thing for a long time. And it's not complicated, but we're just real people.
There's a bunch of guys that been riding together ever since 1969.
We don't ride, you know, on the trails. We ride the streets of Atlanta.
It's no greater feeling than to get on a horse on the street and to be able to ride. You know, horses came before cars, so, you know, we got the right to ride in the highway. The only bad thing about riding a horse, and I'm not sure if that's bad, is that when you ride a horse, you probably won't be able to get a half a block because everybody's jumping out of the car. Can my son touch the horse? And another kid, and you only rode a half a block, and you stayed out maybe 4 or 5 hours.
I just like riding horses because, you know, a person can come outside upset, and you go through there on a horse, and he looking good, and he looking healthy, man, it just makes a smile on their face, you know? And that's all I'm about. If I can see a smile on a person's face, I don't care how my day going, as long as they happy, I'm fine. But usually a mare, they like gold, you know, but man, the stallion.
They're rough, huh?
Yeah, yeah. You got to watch them around kids. You know, like people, you know, like come on their cycle. See, a stallion can smell that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, stallion can smell that. He get excited too. I'm like, hey, buddy, you need to leave my wife alone, you know. I sure hate to shoot you.
People were really excited when D'Artagnan came out of his trailer.
I'll tell you about all that fight, that thing melt down, look down in the bottom down there. All that fight down there, look down in the bottom. Look down through your fight all down here.
Make me some more marinade.
It's not painful, but I mean, it aches.
Manufacture.
So take like 6
I'm sure you
drops
went
every
through that.
15 minutes for about
Okay.
4 times.
Okay.
And then take it as you need it.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. But you can like take that whole thing. You know,
Okay.
it's not something like
few more days.
a drug that's going to damage your liver and kidney.
Do you guys go to the rodeo that's in September?
Yes, we go to all of them.
I will step in because this is my friend,
Andrew.
and he's been around for as long as I've been in Georgia.
Welcome, Andrew. Andrew, I want you to look in the camera. Tell them about Daddy-O.
Before I do that, I want to tell you my accident when I had. I was in the woods and a helicopter had to come get me out because I got knocked out by the horse.
Yeah, but any other stories?
I had a leg amputated.
Why?
I had what they call a plantar sword on the bottom of the foot. It's okay.
Doesn't seem, yeah. Could be worse, right?
Let's see what else is going on. Gonna be in Florida. We're doing a big show, the regional show, big show, big. All the hot shots will be there.
It's probably the biggest show we've ever been.
What show is it?
It's the show of all shows. It's the regionals. Biggest one yet ever. It is just phenomenal, alrighty.
Yeah, I'm terrified of calling. And I get the V's and the E's messed up. I'd be more nervous than her, and I'm just calling. Now starts the panic. Can I do something, please? Don't say no. Can I do your hair and your helmet now? Oh, cool, it's gonna work. Why do I think it wouldn't? Because I don't know. I assume Alex is still out there, right, Melissa? You've just got a couple minutes, sweetie.
On deck will be horse number 240, Dirt Champ.
Oh, right there, right there, right there.
Okay, you got everything on? Is her coat buttoned right? Sometimes she doesn't get the buttons right. Go, baby. Go.
Circle there. That's right.
We're not late, are we? Proceed, collect a trap. C, track left. K to R, extended walk. Between G and H, shorten stride, half turn on haunches left. A, halt, rein back 4 steps. V to L, half pass, 10 meters. Half circle, forgive me. No. I messed you up. No, I didn't. Shit. L to S, half pass left. R to P, shoulder in right. A, down center line, X, halt, salute. Yay, Leah. Clap, guys. Everyone's coming. Leah. Yay. That was really good. Leah, I'm so sorry. I screwed up. You know that, right? I forgot. Yeah, I forgot a half circle.
No, it
before your half pass.
It didn't matter. I knew anyhow.
You knew what?
It was.
You knew that I screwed up.
No. It was like you didn't screw me up.
Did you do it?
Yeah, I did it.
You did the half circle. Are you kidding? I don't know. Leah, oh, thank God. Because I looked at the judge like, what's going on? Oh, baby. Leah, it was a nice, beautiful test. I'm so proud of you. Yes, I'm so proud of you. At the walk, come on. Let's go up and see what's cooking up here. What? Yeah, he wasn't as round. You might get above bit at the walk and walk pairwise because they were good, but you might get, But oh my God, I'm so proud of him. Just do what you do on him. I couldn't watch, I was too nervous. It felt good, it was much better than the last one. Yes?
The horse is deserving of it, and so is she. You know, because neither one of them did what it did without one another. It shows that she has love for that animal, and the animal have love for her. That's what I'm saying.
We started working with him and grooming him and just progressed over time into a better horse. And he became sweeter and he became confident and things like that. So, I mean, it's quite phenomenal.
After the big party and the fancy show, we started to realize, you know, our movie was really, really good, and maybe now was a good time to quit. Overall, we found that D'Artagnan is the fine steed that he is today because he had so many different cultures involved in his life. You know, he had the Amish family background. He had me, I'm an Episcopal, or I was an Episcopal. And we also found that if you just push along and you try real hard, even if things get screwed up, like your mom messes up when she's supposed to be guiding you through the most important horseback riding test of your life, or you get tied to a tree at somebody's house, or you just get confused, then if you do have lots of love or a fair amount of love and support from others, that you will be a success, just like D'Artagnan is a success.
Oh, you little pony boy. You made it. You made it in there. Yes, you did. You're okay with your
The fourth award of 60.238 goes to Leah Marks with D'Artagnan, number 486.
Yay!
Strider with Alexandra Robinson with 60.238. And in third place, number 60 with a 61.190. Laura Silver with Highland.
When you ride against the wind, you will forget the summer coming on. Find the breeze where it begins, at the edge of the air where it belongs. Just keep riding in the sunlight. You will find me somewhere shining. We'll be calm, baby, we'll be smiling. We'll be free. Like a bird, you steal away for a place you can't go. Follow signs on the highway, or be guided by your bones. Just keep riding in the sunlight. You will find me somewhere shining. We'll be calm, baby, we'll be smiling. Rooster's blood when it flew like doves. I'm a bog of poisoned frogs. It's a wonderful life. It's a wonderful life. I'm the dog that ate your birthday cake. It's a